I've had multiple attempts to record this, and I keep getting phone calls or things keep breaking and glitching out. But if you can't tell by what's on screen today, the subject of today's video is kind of a reflection on the Tome, Rift, whatever you want to call this new quest system era of DBD content. Back when this first came out, I kind of said, hey, this is objectively worse. And initially I wasn't super elaborative, but I did eventually elaborate on this. And I said, okay, well, there's two kinds of people. You've got your casuals and your whales. Your whales are people who are going to do as many of the quests as possible. They're going to do all these quests. They're going to play super often. They're going to complete a lot of this, and they're going to do it fast. Your casuals are people who are going to play far less often. They might only do killer, they might only do survivor. But either way, they're going to be doing these quests, and they're just not going to benefit as much from this new system as they would from the old. Because the new system obviously favors completing more things. And as you can see, I'm not making it up. Hey, this is clearly my game. I can scroll all over it, and you can see that it's very much, yes, I did in fact complete it. And we are, just a few days out from the anniversary event. And, well, Chaos Shuffle is still ongoing, so we'll be able to at least reference that. We can't reference 2v8 right now, because I didn't think I was going to be making this video, so I didn't record the quest system for that, but you can take my word on the things that I say. So, when I say I was absolutely right, I was absolutely right, and I can prove it because, well, I've completed it. How did I complete it? Well, by completing literally everything available, as often as it was available. Now, obviously, if we look at my milestone, clearly, I haven't been doing the best as killer. I've been playing much more friendly, and I'll explain that in a moment, but I haven't really also been doing all of my dailies. I'll probably finish this one after this video just to knock it out, since that's going to annoy me. But, obviously with Chaos Shuffle here, you can see I played both sides. I did everything every single time new quests were available, with the exception of this one, which I will probably also log in and finish. But, obviously, I'm talking as a whale. Somebody who's going to do all of this content. Somebody who is absolutely dedicated to finishing it. I paid money for it. I want all of it. But for a casual who also paid money for this, who got the premium pass, well, they might not be getting this far, this fast. And if we go to the past content, sure, I'm very close to being done, but, well, there's only a couple of weeks left. Week 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And there's 48. That you have to complete to get everything. And even then, you still have to finish your Rift, which, if I'm not mistaken, is still 100 tiers. We just saw it, so it's not like it's the old one where, like, it's 80-something tiers and you're done. No, they added a bunch of tiers. And if it's content I paid for, just saying you don't need to go over 70 is not a statement that makes sense. Shut your mouth. Just because I don't need to go over it, if I paid for it, I should be expected to get that content. And it should not be a significant hurdle to get over to acquire that content. And that's why I was saying back in the day that this is not acceptable. And when I say that the game is being fortnitified, this is what I'm talking about. The putting in of roadblocks to try to keep players around longer and doing LTMs and cosmetic collections and everything. And yes, I'm absolutely guilty. I paid money for some of the Witcher cosmetic skins. I'm playing as often as I can so I can get my most out of this. But the point here is that I shouldn't have to. I should be able to play casually and still enjoy the game. And now when I say casually, I don't mean throw on whatever perks and play like an idiot. I shouldn't be able to do that. I'm sick of people who are like, oh, Call of Duty, you should be able to play casual. No, there's a minimum skill floor that once you reach that floor, you can't play worse than that anymore. Your skill naturally progresses. And that's not what I mean by casual in this circumstance. In this circumstance, I'm literally referring to I should be able to play only a couple hours a week if I want to, and relatively expect that through good performance, I will be able to complete the battle pass. I might do some quests naturally over time, and, maybe I'll get close, maybe I'll buy some tiers, maybe I won't. But, clearly, the system is benefiting people who do everything. There's no denying it at this point. I've completed it. So many other people have also completed it. Everyone who's completed it, for the most part, can tell you certifiably they did everything. Now, when I said earlier, I was only really playing Killer a little bit more friendly, well, I can explain that. I don't need to complete, getting hooks and everything to be good as Killer, and this plays into the go next epidemic, because when I play seriously as Killer, people go next. I don't want to play against fucking bots, I want to play against people. So I'm not gonna, if I see somebody go nexting, then I switch over to friendly, and unfortunately it's happening far more often. But what am I talking about? Well, week 1, we see it here. Chase for 700 seconds, or be chased for 150 seconds. Early on in this tome, I was pretty seriously playing Survivor to knock everything out, and then I was moving to Killer. Because doing the Survivor stuff, well, there's more of it, and it's easier to do. So I did the Survivor stuff, because, 2v8, got into matches much faster, and everything was done much quicker. So a lot of these, week 1 was before the 2v8, but you know what I'm saying. I was doing Survivor, getting it done, finishing the backfill with Killer, because there's, a little bit more difficulty to doing the Killer content. But then I realized, later on, I realized some stuff. And we can get into that with week 2. I don't have to play seriously as Killer. I can play far less seriously. I can take this as a friendly Killer circumstance. And I'll manage to finish my quest, and I can help the survivors finish theirs, and I avoid the go next situation, where I no longer have to deal with people go nexting, because it's very clear and obvious, oh, that's a friendly Killer. I mean, sure, I might start off the match trying to take it seriously, but if somebody go nexts, well, they die on first hook, well, it's not fair for me to be an asshole to the remaining survivors, who are now left at a severe disadvantage and are guaranteed to lose. Well, too easy. I just switch over. Well, now everybody else gets to leave, and this one person loses all their, benefits because they go nexted. So they get less points, and, whatever, fine, go next. To waste everybody's time. But I can at least benefit from it. And as we see, okay, I had to use some Scourge Hook perks, and that's whatever. And, I had to stun the Killer, and obviously, whatever. I don't like Moriing, so I was like, I'm not doing that one. So, obviously stuff like Breaking Generator is super easy. Cooperative action, pretty easy. Just, run, bond, and you just deadhead over to the nearest survivor, and if they're doing a gen, do a gen with them. Obviously, downing survivors, okay, yeah, it's easier to fully deplete a medkit. I don't know anybody who would willingly do that one that way. But okay, whatever. And as we see, hey, this is where we finally start to get into, okay, doing friendly Killer was much easier for completing my challenges. So as you can see, okay, 3 people killed. Just dead on the hook by any means. Only 3? Well, that tells you right there what happened. I got so sick of this Go Next epidemic that I was like, okay, repairing generators is going to be easier. I'm going to do that, and I'm just going to be nice. And I don't really reveal auras in such a way that it's going to make it easy to hit them within 10 seconds, so didn't do that super easily. But when we finally get to week 6, we get to where you can tell fully, oh, you're not playing seriously as Killer, you're just completing your quests. Chase for 800 seconds. Completed? That's a long time. That's a couple of minutes. That's a hot few minutes there. And then did not manage to do the challenge for stopping people from getting through the exit gates. Why? Because I was letting them through the exit gates intentionally. Hook 20 survivors not completed. Unhook 10? Yeah, I was done. I wonder what about being a friendly Killer would manage to make chasing them and only hooking every once in a while super easy to complete that way. Well, because I'm not trying to kill people. I'm sick of the Go Next epidemic, so I'm trying to be part of the solution at least as much as I can. I can get a lot of blood points just from doing things like chasing, kicking, smacking and leaving. So I'm getting enough blood points that I'm satisfied. The survivors are getting their be chased for 60 seconds. They're getting their, escape their trials completed. And with a milestone for escaping so many trials, yeah, I mean, I'm fine with doing that. I'm completely fine with being a friendly Killer who is, just trying to get my challenges completed. I mean, okay, I'm not taking the game seriously, so it's, okay, whatever, I'm spitting in the face of the game. But with the Go Next epidemic as bad as it is right now, where if I try to play seriously, that I have to deal with going up against bots, and it's just like, this is no fun. Well, survivors oftentimes, when they realize, oh shit, you're friendly, they're more than happy to take advantage of the blood points you're giving them. They're more than happy to just run around a tree for 300 seconds straight. They don't seem to care. They're getting blood points. Not only that, but they're more than happy to pallet stun you 50 billion times for their achievements and stuff. They're more than happy to do it. And I'm happy to fucking waste my time doing it because the Go Next epidemic is so bad that I would rather just complete my killer challenges as easily as I can while playing friendly. In fact, it's weirdly enough, it's easier to do most of the challenges friendly than it is to do it seriously. And I say that because, let me find it, this one right here. Week 5's challenge for killer. Interrupt and grab one survivor. How did I complete this one? By being friendly. I was being friendly. They were walking up to a pallet, and we were just kind of walking around. I let them stun me with it. I looped back around. They vault the pallet. Yoink! And then I just kind of stood there, and they fell off, and chase continued. And, I gave them about a minute of chase, and then I went off and found somebody else. But it was easy to do. And it was, in fact, easier to do that than it would have been if I was taking it seriously, because I likely would not have been setting myself up in an intentional situation where I was going to grab them rather than boink, whack them over the head and be done with it. So that one was super easy. In fact, when I was playing Survivor, once I'd finished my week 5 challenges, I'm like, I can make this easy on the killer too. So I'll still play it seriously. I'll try to save people, and I'll do all the altruistic stuff, and I'll do generators. But I'm gonna make it super obvious when I'm slowly vaulting walls to get people there, interrupt and grab Survivor stuff. Why? Because I'm super sick of these challenges being super fucking stupid and niche, and just not easy to accomplish. And I mean, clearly you can see, okay, well, I didn't do the reveal, but I managed to get out with a rare item or better. Well, first off, you have to escape to be able to do that. So that one is a little obnoxious because it means you have to actually get out of the trial, which does not always happen. In fact, statistically speaking, you are not likely to escape your trials, which means you should be taking longer to do that one. But I can make it easier as both Survivor and Killer for other people and myself to complete our challenges. So, at least until they solve the issues of the slugging and the tunneling and the camping and shit, and the fact that going next is still not punished yet, and should be changed, I believe, on Tuesday with the release of the anniversary and the Freddy DLC, or not Freddy, Five Nights at Freddy's DLC. Freddy's already in the game. Not braining today. But, so to round this all out, in retrospective, I was 100% right. Completing challenges as a whale is more beneficial than being a casual player. The new system, and I can't, go back and verify this because I and everybody I know who plays this game does not play it as a casual. We play as the whale players. But we're all in the same situation. We can all tell, oh, we've completed all 100 tiers. First off, 5,000 per tier? Really? After 100, we're still doing this 5,000 for post-Deep Rift? That's nothing. I earned 5,000 blood points in, the first 3 minutes of the first match I do per day. I'm hitting way more blood points per match than 5,000. The amount of effort it takes to get a tier to just get 5,000 is pathetic. But I don't have an issue with it for one reason. Back then I said they're going to be doing all this BS, and I hate it. But so long as they don't lower the cap back down to 2 million, fair. We're coming up on the anniversary event. If they lower the cap back to 2 million, the 5,000 is going to annoy me. If the cap stays at 5 million, I will have no complaints. I mean, it's annoying, sure. I mean, there's not a particularly great reward. There's not really much of a reason to keep playing for me now that I'm at tier 100. But 5,000 is fair because the cap is so high. 5,000, I'm earning more than that on a regular basis. whatever. I got all the main cosmetics that come with this pass. This is just a little added bonus. But I play other games where the post, finished pass content is much better. Delta Force in particular, you're getting cosmetics still in the form of charm, loot crates. You're getting usable items for the extraction mode. Like, you're getting stuff that's worth getting. 5,000 blood points is fucking piss in the wind. Like, it's nothing. So I've been rambling, I've been complaining and whining, but I'll have another video coming out soon talking about the upcoming quality of life changes and some of the annoying things going on with DBD Twitter these days. But with that said, do svidaniya, arrivederci, get the fuck out of here.